Mr. Rudder, welcome to Radioregent.
I'm back home.
You're back home?
Yeah.
I love having you here. We love having you here at Radioregent. I'm so excited about your new concert, 6.5. And that's going to be here in Toronto at the Sony Centre, June 9th. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, every 5 years I do a major concert.
Okay.
Like my last one was 6.0 to celebrate my 60th birthday.
Okay.
So now I'm 65.
Okay.
So the 6.5 is this is my celebration year. I did one in Trinidad. This is the first one. Toronto is the second leg of the concert.
Oh wow! And for all that don't know, this is the iconic Mr. David Rudder here in the Regent Park Studios. I had the opportunity this year to see the man, the icon, the storyteller, the famous Calypsonian at Living Arts Center. What can people expect for 6.5? Because this is big.
Yes, it's more than the Living Arts Center. It's going to be stretched out a little bit more. It's a journey through my life. It's also the soundtrack of a lot of people especially people from Trinidad, but also people from the Caribbean.
Okay.
Who have grown with me over the years. You know, it's been a long time. So we're celebrating our life of growth together. Amen. Through the music. You know. In Trinidad, I did about almost 60 songs. We were going for 65 songs, a song for each year.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure if Toronto can handle that. But
well, I
give
think
it a
we
shot.
can.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that some of the greatest soca songs that people are liking in the last, say, 10 years, like Welcome to Trinidad and Trini to the Bone and Halsey X and a few other ones are the famous David Rudder.
Yeah, a lot of people, they say, I would do a show and they would say, oh, he's the guy who sang that song. You know, like, I've written a song called Jerusalem. I'll give you an example. About 20 years ago. Okay. And people still meet me and they say, I just got back from Israel or got back from Palestine. And I heard this song, but a song like you. The song has been running for, over in the Middle East for almost 20 years, you know.
Wow.
And it's never played in the Caribbean, but it's resonated with the people of the Middle East, you know. So you never know where your music will take you.
Exactly. And to talk about your music, it's so universal, it's so spiritual, it's uplifting, and it tells a story.
Yeah, it's the story about the world through Caribbean eyes. You know, I'm a Caribbean man, so my eyes will be, my soul is a Caribbean, so I'm seeing it from my angle. But you know, I tell the stories about wherever I am. If I go to New York and something happened, I will write about it. One of my most popular songs, The Immigrants.
Yes.
I was in New York and there was a Haitian guy who was brutalized by the NYPD, almost killed him. You know, and so I reacted immediately that night when the story broke. You know, and it's one of the songs that people, every time I do a show, people say, you got to sing The Immigrants.
Yeah, I heard it for the first time, and the story.
Yeah.
And it was very impactful.
Yeah.
And it lends credence to some of the social aspects of some of the things that were going on in the world, and that's what I love about your music. Also the messages and the universality that brings people together to enjoy great music.
Yes. That's what I'm about.
Yes. So what are you about with Geometry? Like, I heard the name and I was talking to Breeze and I said, what is Geometry? Could you explain it for us?
When a woman is what we describe as loose in Trinidad, they refer to her as a jamet.
Okay.
It comes from a French word diametre.
Okay.
People who live on the diametrically opposite to what people expect from normal society or decent society. But it's how the carnival started.
Okay.
In the early days, the French would have their masquerade balls and travel in trucks and so on. And it was the poor people from behind the bridge in Port of Spain who brought that ballroom feel onto the streets of Port of Spain, and create and mimic the aristocracy, but with lewd. What do you call lewd behavior nowadays? We just call it whining now. You know, right? That's word is the fastest moving word across the planet right now.
I know, whining.
Out of Trinidad, I go to Africa, people saying whining, you know, because the soca music is spreading so much.
Yes, they are actually doing. There's African artists that are now doing soca, and
so in a strange way, that difference that Trinidad is spreading across the world like a jamet. It's not true. Airplay and Billboard magazines and so on. It's just the energy of the carnivals. People picking up this music, and you know, it's coming from a different angle, diametrically opposed to the normal flow of how music runs and so on. In the music world runs now. So I think in a sense Trinidad is a jamet.
And it's rising because when you see famous artists dropping everything to head to Trinidad, like I saw once Will Smith and his wife and Beyonce and all these big artists, and they're trying to incorporate a little bit of that feel and that energy into their own music. Not quite like the Trinidadians, but you know.
Trinidad is a strange place. It's almost like the center of the universe, but in an island. It's like, but you have to kind of. You don't approach Trinidad in the conventional sense.
Okay.
And I always tell people, if you come into Trinidad, you don't 1 + 1 in your world is 2. In Trinidad, 1 + 1 is 11.
Okay. I want to jump.
And 1 from 10 is not 9. 1 from 10 is 0.
Wow.
That's the kind of math you have to work out. And once you're in there, then you will understand Trinidad.
I guess that's where that crazy beat comes from, because it's like, you know, that energy, that beat, that feeling, and
it's all way of dealing with the blues. We laugh the blues with a smile. We laugh, you know, like if the blues says life is hard, Trinidad says this life hard, boy.
Yes.
So
with a beat.
With a beat, yeah. Because I don't think we traveled through the whole 400 years of enslavement and things like that. So I think our music is more unfettered.
Okay.
The way we approach it it's a cutting laugh. It's brutal. It's brutal. The word, the spoken word in Trinidad is brutal, but it's also like there's always a laugh at the end of it.
Yes.
So it's a blade, but it's a laugh.
It's almost like that. You know, that little lick there.
Yeah.
You are universal, and I'm just so proud and glad that you're here at Radioregent, and we love playing your music on the air. And who would you like to work with, and in your 6.5, like, is there any artist that you'd like to bring to your sound table and just kind of
I'm just open to anything. I love music. I've traveled through the world and met Salif Keita, Youssou N'Dour. I love to do something with Stevie Wonder because
that's who I was thinking.
Because we both have what people call a handicap, which is not really. We both born the same time. You know, my first record label was Bad Bull Music, and his first label was Black Bull Music.
Really? So, I never knew that.
It's like very, you know, interesting.
Very similar.
Yeah.
But I could see that because your lyrics and your vision and sense of equality for all people lend credence, and you both talk about issues, social issues that impact. And that would be a wild and crazy collaboration, and I could see that. I could see him singing and playing one of your songs. He might not get the accent down, but you know, I think that would speak to him as well.
Yeah, I feel so. You never know in this world.
You never know. Radioregent is blowing up. It's #1 for independent artists, and just having you a part of our dream and our vision for myself and Cool Breeze, wow, and we get to spread that vision and music to our community as well as the world, and I think that's really powerful.
Thank you.
You know, and Geometry, like, that's his new song this year, everybody. Cool Breeze will probably drop it again so you can hear it. And if someone was looking to find out more about David Rudder, where could they do that?
I'm on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram.
Okay.
My music is on CD Baby.
Okay.
So you can actually download albums and singles straight from the on the computer.
Okay. Is there anything you want to say about 6.5 coming up? We know that we can get tickets at Sony.ca, Live Nation, Ticketmaster, and it's put on by DJ, the Caribbean Camera, and
Sony Center is main. I did a show there many years ago when they were Hummingbird Center.
Yes.
And so they never forgot that. So they came and said, you know what, we want to put on a show with you after all these years.
And I found your shows to be very intimate.
Yeah.
Very intimate, but the musicality was so strong, like it drew people in, and that's what I really loved about it.
It's a journey through the life, and then I always try to let people leave. I always say, leave the hall flying.
We were, like, when Breeze, a friend of ours, when we came out, his friend and myself, we had never saw you live, and we couldn't stop talking all the way in the car. It was chilly that night, but we had such energy, and we were asking Breeze about this song and that song, because some of them we didn't know. And then I went on to different sites and listened to your music, and because it was a show and I heard some of the lyrics, but your lyrics are so impactful, like The Immigrant, Halsey X, Bahia Girl. There's stories, but the energy and passion that you bring forth with the music is something else. How does that happen for you?
I recognize I have an advantage, I should say. When I was 9 years old, this was the first time I stepped on a stage.
Really?
And the moment I stepped on that stage, I felt a kind of peace that I've never felt before. And I knew exactly what I had to do from that point on. So there's my kids are going to university and they're about to go, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, what subject they're going to take, what profession they're going to, follow. And I said, I'm so lucky. I knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Wow.
From that, and I started at the age of 10, and I'm doing it since then.
Wow. That's 55 years.
55 years, almost 56 years on stage, yeah.
Wow.
And I just went to Grenada, and I was mobbed by about 300 or 400 teenage girls in a school.
Wow.
Because they love my music.
Right.
So it's like I'm still touching generations, and that's one of the things that I'm lucky with. Over the years, the generation I grew up with, their children are coming to the shows, and the grandchildren are coming. So it's like it's never ending. And I say I have to be doing something right, because
you are.
Something has to be going right.
And you're touching people. Like I was telling you this morning, there was a lady, not to center her out, she was white, and she knew every lyric to your song. Yeah. She wasn't West Indian, but she knew every lyric, and she was just working up and winding up, and I was like, okay, what a feeling. Yeah. And she really, really, really enjoyed herself. And that's what you can... Toronto, if you're interested in going to the show, it's June 9th, starts at 8 p.m. and he is very prompt. He starts right at 8 o'clock, and it's Sony Center for the Arts, 1 Front Street East, and tickets are available. Do you plan to take part in the Caribbean Festival this year? Because we did see you perform and had some floats there, part of some
I might be, because I'm usually in Antigua, Barbados, and these places at the same time. But I will be probably performing, maybe making an appearance somewhere in the Caribbean. Yes. And my children are mass. They love the mass now, so they probably maybe in some band.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to tell Toronto that I didn't ask you, that David Rudder, the icon, the man, the soca legend wants to tell the world?
Just come on down and let's enjoy a great evening.
Mm-hmm.
I promise I'll make you fly.
Yes, he does. I mean, with and Super Wings. I mean, when I was out there, it was cold outside, and what a feeling of energy, of warmth. We were still winding up in the car, man. It was just one of those things that you take with you, and you leave an impression.
Yeah. Calypso music, feel it in your city. You can't refuse it. Music makes you pretty. Front Street catch a fire on a warm Toronto night. The lazy wind is a liar in its Lipsoland delight. Toronto jam down. Toronto jam down. Toronto jam down. Toronto jam, everybody now. Jam to Calypso, jam down.
What?
Right? You see, I get that song.
Yeah, man.
I might include that on the show too. You know?
Yeah, that is hot.
Yeah.
And Mr. Rudder, thank you so much for being a part of our Saturday afternoon and
My pleasure.
sharing your great music and your vision and your new 6.5 Toronto that's going to be at the Sony Center. We love you.
Thank
we
you.
love you so much.
Thank you. I love everyone too.
And we
all
love
my
you.
fans. We'll spread the love.
Yes,
on
we
the 9th
will.
of June.
Yes, we will. And I hope to be there with our Breeze as well. And thank you for coming down and joining us today.
Anytime.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.